Hello crafty friends! If you love scrapbooking, cute pattern paper, and die cuts, you've come to the right place. I'm Becki Adams and welcome to the Scrapbook.com YouTube channel. Today we're creating this fun Halloween themed layout using products from Scrapbook.com. So I have some of my favorite products laid out here on my desk that we're going to use today. I have the spooky pattern paper pad and then the holographic paper pad. I also have a few of my favorite adhesives from Scrapbook.com, and we'll talk about those as we go throughout the video. I also have a full stack of dies that I used on this layout that are so fun and so versatile, and a couple of them are even dies that were designed for slimline cards. But I wanted to show you how you can use those dies on a scrapbooking project. And of course, since it's a Halloween themed project, we have to use these cute bat dies. So to get started, I have chosen a black cardstock background, and then I wanted to layer a piece of white cardstock on top of that. So I'm trimming down a piece of white cardstock down to 11 inches square. I'm working with the Simple Stories Color Vibe cardstock. And if you haven't worked with that cardstock before, it's got a really faint tone-on-tone polka dot pattern that I'll show you here in just a minute. But it's one of my favorite cardstocks to work with, and I'll show you why in just a minute. So I'm just going to adhere this Color Vibe cardstock. There you can see the polka dots on one side. So I'm going to put my adhesive on the other side because I want that polka dot side facing up. And I'm just going to center that in that black cardstock background. So we're working with one 6x4 photo today and lots of pattern paper strips. So I cut out all of these pattern paper strips before I turned on my camera. I used my Gemini 2, and it was so quick and easy to just cut out all of those pattern paper strips. There are so many cute patterns in this pattern paper pad that I wanted to use all of them. And I think actually I used most of them, but there were a couple of cut apart cards that I didn't use on this one, so definitely check those out. So I want just a whole bunch of strips of pattern paper going clear across this layout from the left side over to the right. So I just took some tape runner adhesive and ran that clear across the layout, and then I am just using random, I mean there's not a specific order to the way I'm putting these pattern paper strips on. I'm just putting them straight across the page. And the reason why, one of the reasons why I love the Color Vibe cardstock is because I can line it up so quickly. It's hard to see it here on screen, but that's what I'm doing, is lining these up. So I'm just finishing up with that cute orange gingham paper. I think that one is probably my favorite from the spooky paper pad. Let me know in the comments below which pattern paper you love in the spooky pattern paper pad. So I have these cute scallop dies that I die cut using black cardstock and the slimline, one of the slimline border dies. I will have all of the products that I used linked in the video description below. So if you have any questions on what I'm using, you can find all of the links down there. So because these slimline decorative border dies are a little bit, they're short, they don't go clear across the 12x12 paper, I just quickly glued them together using some Artiste glue from Scrapbook.com. And then they were ready to adhere to the paper. That glue dries super quickly, and so I'm able to get it done really quickly. So I'm just tucking this scalloped die cut underneath my pattern paper strips just because I wanted a smaller black border, not the full bold black border. And I wanted to make sure that I had room for my title. So the title for this layout is Pumpkin Party, and this layout tells the story of a pumpkin carving party that we had at my house when my kids were a little bit younger. So I cut the title out using the modern alphabet die set, and I cut each letter out twice. Once out of the black spiderweb paper in the spooky pattern paper pad, and then once out of the, it's kind of a glittery silver or iridescent paper from the holographic paper pad. And I wanted that holographic pop in my title, but I didn't want the entire letter to be this shiny holographic. And so I later layered those together so that you can see the holographic paper kind of behind the black letter. I just kind of offset those a little bit. And then I'm also doing the same with the word party. And I cut that out actually 3 times, but I don't end up using the black word party. I use the pink and the holographic. And I layered those just a little bit, slightly askew, gluing them together with the Artiste glue. I wanted my title to pop up off of the page, so I'm using one of my favorite adhesives from Scrapbook.com, and that's the 1/8 of an inch foam strips. I love these strips because they're easy to tear. You see me, I don't even have to use scissors most of the time. And you can use them, they're perfect for alphabets. So I'm just getting everything ready to adhere to the background of my layout. Again, I'm using that polka dot pattern on the Color Vibe cardstock to line up these letters so that my title is straight. So I'm just removing the backing from the 1/8 of an inch adhesive foam strips. That's just one of the ways I'm going to show you that I love to use these adhesive strips. And we'll just get that last letter on there. And then it's time to adhere the word party. And I wanted that to overlap the word pumpkin. And so you'll see how I adhere that here in just a minute. I was putting just one piece of foam tape on the back of the photo, and I'll tell you about that here in just a moment. So I'm putting the 1/8 foam strip, a couple little bits of that behind the word party, and then removing the backing, and then I'll place that there on the background. And once I have that stuck in place, I will just gently bend that up and adhere that to the word, or the N in the word pumpkin, I guess. So when I'm creating an interactive layout, which I am doing here because there's going to be a pocket behind the photo, I love to use these 1/8 inch foam strips so that you have a little bit of room to get whatever you're putting behind the photo out. So I'm creating a pocket, and I just have just 1/8 of an inch, just a little bit of room to put these 2 tags that I'm going to use for my journaling. So that these tags don't get like kind of lost behind the photo, I'm using some, again, the 1/8 inch foam adhesive to adhere these cute die cut bats on the back. Now you could, when you die cut your tags, not put the hole in there, and then you wouldn't have to use the powder tool like I did to remove the adhesive that was poking through. And then I'm using just a little bits of those foam tape to adhere these bats to my pattern paper strip background. and then I'll go back and write the journaling on those 2 tags when I have this layout finished. Thank you so much for stopping by. I am so glad that you made your way to the Scrapbook.com YouTube channel today. As I mentioned earlier, all the links for the products that I used are in the video description below. Thank you again for stopping by, and I'll see you again soon.